2018, Big Crown signs you,
Yeah.
and they're super deep into the modern soul. And just what did that feel like to get signed by a big label like that?
It felt really good. It felt like something. Also, it felt like something. I mean, there can be sides to that as well. Like if you, because it's of course you wanna, find a label that would be able to promote your music and spread it around. But there can also be, I mean, we were so fortunate to find Big Crown because we just, as we develop our relationship, we would understand that, oh my God, like it's actually a match made in heaven, really. Like these people really get this, and we get each other on a level that's I think it's not something that I would like discussing with your colleagues. They would it's a very fortunate situation to have that kind of relationship with your label. So, but it was natural for me. It was a kind of natural step when you think of the whole vibe we had already with Cold Diamond Mink. So it would have been stupid to kind of put that into somewhere that wouldn't give it enough space to breathe its own life. So what that's what's up with Big Crown. They would just like do your thing. That's why we want to work with you. Yeah.
So the album comes out. I mean, it's just from top to bottom. Full album that's just got beautiful tracks from start to finish. You listen to the whole thing. Now that's another thing that I want to bring up, because there's not that many albums out there these days that you can kind of listen to from start to finish. There's usually like a couple singles, here and there. Some artists are not even putting together records. They're just throwing out a couple singles here and there, and maybe one day we'll get to that. But in your case, you got the full album and it hits. What was that process like, putting that together with them? How long did it take you to put all those songs together? And just, what was it like in the studio doing those?
Well, thank you. First of all, thank you. I think I'm very happy it came out that way. But only way to explain that how, I mean, we just, it comes down to the process again. Because we didn't have a plan of making an album in a way. We were just making songs. We kind of discovered each other musically as well. So we were going into different directions. If you take a song like Deja Vu, for example, which has this very spacey kind of vibe. So, and that's kind of just, an experimental mindset in a way. Like we're grounded in our similar musical references and our own sound, but then again we are free to do different stuff. Or then you have the Your Love Is Too Cold song. That's like a northern soul vibe thing. That's like a dance tune. That's probably because we realized that we have a lot of these very kind of moody philosophic and slow beat like deep tunes. So we wanted to do something, should we maybe try something that would be a little bit more energetic and faster. So that's how we came up with that, and also Falling in Love. And we just felt like this Beatles vibe all of a sudden. Like we wanted to, like, what would be like a very romantic song. Like the whole theme of the album seems to be, we weren't talking about an album back then, but at that point, but we kind of realized that it's going to be love songs, So what would be the most romantic thing to do? And falling in love, man. It's it's very, like I said, it's not something very cryptic, but just song by song. I think we each song has a different vibe to us, at least, and has a different point of interest and point of musical reference even. So, because I mean, why I'm bringing up this reference thing is that because they are record heads, we're all record heads. It's we devour music, and it's that's an important part of our process. We listen to a lot of records and kind of kind of break that sound apart a little bit, like, all right, that's how they do that, so how could we incorporate that into this song? You know, it's also, it's a learning process as well. All creative processes are always learning processes as well. You discover something, you know, you go into that. So I guess that's the reason why the first album came out like that. We were just, every song had a different kind of there was a different search and mission even for us. So then I hope that's I think it's our process. It's just how the second album is coming together as well. Every song is just a different story in a way, and then we decide later on like how it's gonna come together as an album. But I definitely get what you mean about like this like the whole format kind of, there's this talk of how the album is gonna die, like nobody has time to listen to a full album. But I guess that's the one benefit of the format, like we kind of, Big Crown still thinks in vinyl in many ways, like long play vinyls. So, and there's this huge revival of that whole scene and so on. So, but that format gives you the possibility to concentrate on making an album. And you know what's the beauty of that is also it has two sides. So you have like many ways of kind of structurizing your album, your scene, your themes, the whole thing. You can kind of create tension there and then break it down and then bring it back up again and so on. It's I love that. So I guess us being like record heads and kind of always we've analyzed records, we've just listened to so many records that it's I think it's just natural to kind of think in that way as well, like how will we make this a killer record, you know, no fillers, pure killers. So,
one of the first music videos that I ever seen, you know, Bobby Oroza, was Your Love Is Too Cold. That music video, it really brought me back, to be honest. You know, like I grew up in the MTV days just like yourself, and it really brought me to that like weird video that you really don't know what's kind of going on, but you enjoy the music and you do it, like it just keeps your attention right there, right? You can't turn it off because it's just so, in so many ways it's awkward with the dancing and all that good stuff. But can you talk about that video? And you directed the video and you worked a little bit with the choreography as well. Can you talk about that process?
So I think in that video it comes pretty much down. I mean, the success of that video, if you can say that, it comes down to the casting. I found the right people to do it with. So yeah, I directed that and then edited that as well. So I had a very strong vision. I had pictured that out in my mind. But yeah, what happens in these kind of situations, like when you work with people that are just you know beautiful artists that can express themselves on so many levels with their bodies, with their like physical appearance. They are just, you know, they're like, that's their profession, that's their craft. They're dancers and actors. So this, you know, I'm just, you know, always curious about it. I'm not even trying to control. I might be trying to lead it to some direction, but I've always felt that the best way to go is just create this space and liberty for these people to kind of find something new and weird together, you know, like everybody, we all have to cross the line into this weird creative twilight place, you know, where stuff can happen. So I didn't have any, how it finally turned out was different from my prevision in a way. So yeah, it comes down to people, like in so many things, like it comes down to having the right people around you to work with, having your, you know, this kind of created symbiotic situation.
Yeah, and the choreography in this, you know, this music video is just so wild. I love it though, because it's like you just don't really know what move is coming next. So did you guys practice that and just kind of let it rip?
We kind of let it rip and we practiced a little. We just, I think the best way to go was, I thought the best way to go was to just, you know, play the song a couple of times, and then we would kind of jam to it. I would explain at the same time, like, yeah, there's this, let's start small, and let's start kind of timid and all that, and closed, and then the whole thing, I mean, it's very simple. The whole arch of drama is just you're closed and then you open up. So yeah, and then we were kind of trying with but they're professionals, so they would kind of understand the dynamics of how it's gonna go. Okay, we go from small to big, and that's the deal. So then we would tweak the levels, like how far you can actually go. And so I think I just said that, don't even think about it, just go further than you think was far, you know. So yeah, but it comes down to, it could have gone in so many ways, but that's how we came up with it. And I think there's this well, I was also playing around with references there. There's this I think the most noted Finnish film director, Aki Kaurismäki, who has a very certain way of expressing Finnish physicality and Finnish bodies and Finnish dance, and this always intrigued me. It's like it's very different from what you can see in Cuba, for example. The whole body culture is different. Whole way of expressing yourself through dance is different, but it's also something universal. You have to express yourself with your body as well, even though that you wouldn't be maybe you just weren't doing that from since kid, like in Cuba. But yeah, I wanted to kind of break that. I wanted to start with this timid setting when everybody's pretty much closed and down to themselves and kind of not really expressing anything, to kind of tweak that meter to 100 and, you know, just show that it can happen, and it will happen, you know. Maybe you need something to fuel that on some cultures, but it will happen. If the music is good, it will happen eventually, you know.
Bobby. Bobby.
I'm trying, it don't mean a thing to you. You don't see how much I'm trying, baby, no matter what I do. And I've been a fool to believe that you could feel my pain. Oh, I feel like crying, but I know my tears would fall in vain. If I gave you all my love, baby, and break my heart in two, I know it would be for nothing. It don't mean a thing to you. I was blinded by my hopes, now I can see clearly. I'd be nothing but a fool if I shared my dream with you. I won't shed no tears any longer. It took me some time, but now I'm stronger. No more make-believe. I gotta be true to myself. No more make-believe, little darling. blinded by my hopes. Now I can see clearly. I'd be nothing but a fool if I shared my dream with you.